Hi everyone, I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to share the happiness of Python and cryptography with you. We will enjoy this all the way until summer. Just a reminder that this opportunity was provided to us by the online classroom platform and our principal Bill. Our counselor Anna put in lots of effort with the details of recruiting students and answering questions. I will use this opportunity to congratulate her son Liang Liang, who is in grade 8, for being selected for the UBC University Transition Program. Next, my assistant workfortuition.com, who will carry out some assistance. Lastly, thank you for signing up for this class. You are all improving the overall skill level of the field of cryptography. Special thanks to the students who have paid for this class. Your funding allowed this class to be held as planned. Next, let's quickly browse their contact information. Pause if needed. March 30th, 2022, I will go through the introduction, meeting schedule, how to submit assignments and the format for emailing, Cipher and RSA algorithm, some resources, and how to install Python. I'm Rachel. I'm a grade 10 student and I have been learning Python for 2 years. This is my third time explaining Python and cryptography. I hope you will enjoy. Here is the meeting schedule. There will be 14 meetings in total, once every Wednesday. The first 1 to 7 meetings will be learning Python syntax and Cipher. Meeting 8 to meeting 9 will be RSA algorithm and the RSA framework. Meeting 10 to 13 is RSA key ideas and coding. On the last meeting, meeting 14, we will look at the full code for RSA decryption. Due date and release. All assignments need to be submitted every Monday before 7 a.m. by email. The emails will be replied every Wednesday, and I will either mark each individual assignment or I will mark the whole class together. New lesson videos will be posted every Wednesday. Assignments and email format. The homework for each class is to understand the code explained in the videos and then imitating the code. Try debugging it yourself if it doesn't work, but if you can't figure it out, just submit it and I'll help you. My email address is rachel@workfortuition.com. For the email title, format it like class code plus student name plus assignment number. The class code is RC2203. The student name is your full name, for example, Peter Parker, and the assignment number is the same as the meeting number. For example, for meeting 1, it would be number 01. For the Python file name, it is the same as the email title. For example, the email title could be RC2203 space Peter Parker space number 01. The meaning of RC2203 is R for Rachel, C for cryptography, 2203 for year of 2022 and month of March. How to create .py file and email it. How to create a name file. You open the Python shell and do File, Save As, and then select File Location and name the file. A .py file contains code that can be run. However, Outlook gives a risk warning when sending it. To get around this and send .py files in Outlook, there are 2 ways. If you get the warning, you can either compress it into a RAR file and send that, or you can just send the .py file and ignore the risk warning because I can still receive it. So unless you know how to compress it into a RAR file, you don't need to worry about it and can just send it to me. If you're using web email, everything should be fine and there won't be a risk warning. That's it for this part. As you know, we will be using the Caesar cipher and the RSA algorithm for encrypting. The Caesar cipher is classic and easy to understand. It's a substitution cipher, which means that every letter in the alphabet will correspond to a different letter after we encrypt it with the key. So we'll look at the Wikipedia page for Caesar cipher. So over here we can see on the picture that after they encrypt it, so for example, E will go to B, F will go to C, and then for the other letters, they will all correspond to a different letter. And then there's an example over here. So they used a key which is a right shift of 23. So that means A will turn into X, B will turn into Y, C will turn into Z, and so on. So if we use this pattern and encrypt the plain text, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, we will get this message, which is no longer understandable. And then for the RSA algorithm, it's an asymmetric cryptography system, which means it has a public key and a private key. So the public key is online and everyone can see it, but the private key is only for ourselves. This makes it harder to decrypt. The RSA algorithm is very popular in modern cryptography. It's what banks use to keep our communications safe. The letters R, S, and A come from the last names of the three people who invented the RSA algorithm. For the resources that I talked about are the places where you can go to learn about Python. W3 Schools is a very good website for learning about like the different Python stuff. On the left, you can see all of the things that you can learn about. They're all very important, and I suggest looking at all of them. Not all in one day, but eventually getting to all of them. So pretend we need to figure out what strings are. We can click on Python strings and then read what it has. We can also try it ourselves with some examples. Yeah, everything in here is very useful, and we will probably need to use most of these, all the way up to classes and objects. So look at all of them, but when you get to classes and objects, you can stop because all of these stuff are very hard, and we probably don't need to do them. And then there's a YouTube video.
In this course, I'm going to teach.
Yeah, it's 4 hours long, and over here, and then watch to the 3 hour and 43-minute mark. After that, you don't need to watch it. So pretend I want to see the dictionary.
In this tutorial, I want to talk to you guys about using.
Yeah, I think this tutorial is very good and useful. If you get through it once, it would be really good, but if you could get through it twice, then you would probably be able to do pretty much everything that you need in Python. So the resources are what you can use to learn about Python in your free time. If there's any questions, you can also put it in Teams or talk to me about it in the next meeting. And then we will install Python. We go to python.org/downloads and then click on the download Python 3.9.7. I have a video of downloading Python. So I go to python.org/downloads. We run the command. And then it says setup was successful. Yeah, and then I find the IDLE and open it. It's where we can write our programs. We create a new one and call it Hello World. It's the first message that we're going to print. Yeah. Okay, that was installing Python. Oh, that's it for the first meeting. And if you run into any problems for installing Python, you can bring it up in the next meeting or talk about it in Teams. Thank you.